So Hulk Hogan, he does talk a bit about WWE, but I put it in miscellaneous because he was on Ariel Helwani Show to talk about with Eric Bischoff. And Bischoff looks worried, and Hulk looks tanned and drunk as shit. And they're sitting here, and Ariel asked the real questions again. People, he's a shill. No, he asked the real. And Bischoff almost looks worried about like how Hogan's going to answer this question and some of these questions. However, he does talk about WWE a bit, but they were there to shill their, not shill. I use the word shill all the time now. They were there to promote their amateur wrestling league, right? And I don't know. He just talks about getting booed and how he's playing the heel and da-da-da-da-da-da, and just more Hogan. But he's just working the gimmick, brother. He's doing what he can do to save face. He grew out the NWO beard because he knows everybody's going to boo him anyways. And it's unfortunate explaining, well, in his case, it's unfortunate that he's got to go explain everywhere, oh, I was booed at WWE and they don't love me anymore, brother. You know, but that's what he put upon himself. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day here, he is like, I was just a heel, brother, so I can go into any territory and they'll boo me, brother. And it's like, listen to what you were saying during that segment with Jimmy Hart. You weren't playing a heel. But again, I'm not here to just jump on Hogan for all of his lies. There's tons of YouTube videos that do that already, which are hilarious, by the way. But yeah, let's just listen to this clip. I think we have a couple of them.
I think you're in a real interesting point in your life and career, because I think that there's a sector of people who were with you in the 80s, who rided with you, who will always ride with you and always support you. And obviously there are some fans who don't feel that same way anymore, who have turned against you, and we see you at Raw and they boo you when you come out. But then there are other fans who want to support your beer or whatever product that you're attached to. How do you feel, without beating around the bush, how do you feel about your relationship with the with the public right now, your relationship with the people, especially coming off the last time we saw you on a major stage was that Netflix show back in January at the Intuit Dome?
Well, they're still nipping at my heels. I can go out there and get booed. As actually the last time I was in LA, I was Hollywood Hogan with a black beard and doing the bad guy thing. I can go out there and get booed in LA, or The Rock can.
Like, did he just lie and say he was out there with the black beard and everything and being the bad guy? You weren't being the bad guy, bro. During that appearance in LA, you were being the full-blown good guy. You had Jimmy Hart out there with you, and they still booed your ass. And everyone loves Jimmy Hart.
You get booed in LA, or John Cena gets booed in LA. But when I get booed, there's a whole different reaction media-wise. For some reason, I've laid some type of groundwork that.
Yeah, you're Hulk fucking Hogan, and people hate you for real life, not kayfabe. That was done on the wrestling show.
People are still interested in what I'm doing, and so for those that are on the team and are riding with the train to the station, that's great. For those that are the haters and still have a problem with me, there's nothing I can do to fix that except just keep proving by my actions that I'm still in the game. I'm still pushing hard. I took a lot of time off because I had like 25 surgeries and I was down for a long time. And, I've always.
You mean retired?
Loved the hunt. I've always loved to get back in the game. But it's always been that way with me because my whole career, I had that top spot no matter what it was. Even through the 80s, it was the fastest draw. During the 80s, it was just a situation where everybody was knocking me. Everybody was trying to knock me off that top spot. I'll trade that for not on the bottom of the card, if you know what I'm saying, or being on the bottom of the pile of life. So for me, it's just it's part of the territory. I mean, it's kind of like, when you get booed and then you get 3.2 billion engagements all of a sudden, and then you rock that whole world in LA with how much interaction there was on the internet. I'll take it.
Okay. 3.2 billion? You got 3.2 billion views on that? I don't fucking know about that, buddy.
So after that, you didn't view that as some sort of like indictment on the state of your career, how people feel about you. You felt like they were just booing the character?
Oh, no. All the above. There are certain people that.
Bischoff is pissed that Ariel's pressing him.
Boo the character. There are certain WWE superstars that had an opinion and they had advice for me. But I would like to ask those same guys when I go to New York or Chicago and the people cheer, out of the rooftops. I would like to know what their advice is then and what their opinion is. So it's a double-edged sword with me, and it's always been that way. It's part of the character. It's part of me personally as part of my professional life, as part of my personal life. It's all the above. I mean, and at the end of the day, I'm just like an old scarred up seal with a bunch of scars on me. And I'm really relatable to most normal people because a lot of people have been through a lot of stuff I have professionally. A lot of people have made not the same mistakes, but personally made.
I'm really relatable to people, brother. Everybody's pressed a stinky giant, dude. Well, let me tell you something, dude. When you press that stinky giant up and make millions of dollars in kayfabe, brother, Jesus Christ.
Made mistakes, and I'm still relatable to so many people. If they boo me, fine. If they're on the team lead, that's great too. So not hating on anybody, brother. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward.
Not hating on anybody, brother. 3.2 billion views. What is he talking about? So Priscilla Kelly, FKA Gigi Dolan, she will have a match at PW Revolver against Zachary Wentz. Her mans. Okay, a little intergender action there. Here's Vincent from The Righteous responding to Carrie and Cross with his own trippy video. Okay. Yeah, well, they're smashing all these vinyls. You know that they're not going back to AEW because they've only broken one record, allegedly. Right? Right, guys? No? So basically, it's like this trippy cult thing, like what the Righteous are, right? And so Vincent and Dutch. I'm so glad they asked for their release. They're worth so much more. In early PWT days, we talked about how this guy also was a Randy Orton cosplay wrestler, but literally, like the wrestlers who go out and pretend to be other wrestlers. Like there's that guy who pretends to be Ric Flair, and there's that guy Jay Batista who would go out and he had the same belly button tattoo and like kind of not really looked like Batista, so he would pretend to be Batista on the indies. This dude with the dreads and the beard would pretend to be Randy Orton on the indies. Like that was his gimmick for a while. And they teased the thing with Elias already, and everyone's like, oh my God, even the dirt sheets were like, Elias is signed with Ring of Honor. And he wasn't at all. Then he went and signed with TNA. And then he was just on NXT recently. These fools could totally show up in TNA and it would get over. Like this gimmick started getting over before AEW. And when AEW scooped them, we were like, oh, good. But they're a sports entertainment act, clearly. And we don't do that, bruv. Okay. Glad you guys got your fucking releases, because if they go and link up with Cross, this is way better. These guys with Cross and Scarlett, and like Scarlett wearing less dominatrixy Catwoman type shit, and they do the more cultish thing, because Cross already sort of does that puppet master stuff. This works way better than like AOP and Ellering with Cross, or just go to TNA with these guys and have them line up with Elias or whatever, and I bet they could make some good money. I don't want to see them in NXT. Like they're past that point. Even if they go again, if they go to PW Revolver, if they go to MLW, if they go to, there's other feds that are starting to pop off more and more as well during this wrestling boom, if you will. Somewhat of one. Wrestling in general is seeing a surge in popularity. I love this, and I think WWE, look at how they're presenting themselves without WWE. Imagine what they could do with that machine behind them as well. Just the marketing and everything. It's not spooky. Like it's weird, but because it's realistic and weird. Not because it's like we're supernatural and spooky and weird. This is like realistic, once upon a time in Hollywood, Charles Manson type cult-like shit. So it's creepy for that reason, And yeah, I hope these guys the best. I was a fan of them for quite a while, you know, before even AEW. Here's the thing. In AEW, they did a good job as well of bringing these guys in. I was yelling about it and screaming about it at the time, if you go back on PWT Pod. But when MJF beat them both, that was a fucking travesty. But they brought them in and then smashed them over as these guys who will like break your ankles with a hammer and a wood block in Minecraft. Right? It's not like a ritual, but sort of that way because it's a cult. You know what I mean? And they really smashed them over as like these guys are gonna threaten MJF. But they just came in to do that. They came in, had like a solid push in that moment, but they were already in the company, but they sort of like re-debuted them then. You guys remember it if you were watching AEW then. And they were the Ring of Honor champions or whatever. And then at that All In, MJF beat them both in a handicap match and then also won the main event later that night. You never saw these guys again. That really pissed me off. I was screaming about it then. Like, how do you smash these guys over? Like, this should be your top heel tag team now. You know, like, why aren't they fucking fighting for the belts or whatever? They're just gone again. And that's that start, stop, like, you're good when I need you type of booking that Tony Khan does. He just has all these toys and he just looks through his closet and goes, oh, this team can really, if MJF beats them, it won't both in one night, it won't matter type shit. Like that's how he basically approached them. And he just smashed them over as this really devastating hot team. And I'm spending a lot of time on the Righteous, but I fucking like those dudes. And I hope that, yeah, we see them get a big push here somewhere in some company. Even MLW, they do really good shit, pal. Eric Bischoff confident that Real American Freestyle will land a streaming deal. Now, you know the Observer's all over this because Dave wants to be able to be like, I told you, you know, you couldn't, your real amateur wrestling should be able to beat Tony Khan if you know what you're doing. And you know, it's so ridiculous. It's comparing apples to oranges, and Dave wants to try and take a victory lap on Bischoff if his amateur wrestling show, reality show, doesn't draw more than AEW on TV or whatever. Dave is such a delusional prick, and I can't wait to cover this whole meltdown. So I posted this. Jazelle Shaw, she became the first ever MLP Maple Leaf Pro Women's Canadian Champion. But instead of celebrating her historic victory, she's fighting off a wave of backlash, Jazelle Shaw. So her win at MLP Wrestling's Northern Rising event saw her defeat Kylie Rae under controversial circumstances. Yo, in the match, there is this move that got hit where Kylie goes for a head scissors and then Jazelle stops and is like, no, I got you now, bitch. Like, I'm going to tombstone your ass. And then Kylie does like this frontwards Rana move and it just plants her. And goddamn, it was amazing, you know, because it's not like a destroyer, you know, like it's like Rana DDT, a Rana driver. I can't even explain it. And Jazelle sold it like she was all bent in half and it was like, oh my God, madness. She pulled out the win, I guess. So owners. Okay, so she's facing controversy. Now some fans are accusing her of using her relationship with Maple Leaf Pro owner Scott D'Amore to secure the title. So either her and Jazelle Shaw and Scott D'Amore were fucking dating, or they are dating, or they've hooked up. I don't know what it is. Like they're not dating, but like everyone knows that they're and I called it. If you guys go back, I said, you know, when Scott started Maple Leaf Pro, I was like, we're going to see Jazelle Shaw likely show up there, you know, when she left TNA. Anyone could call that because of that relationship. Now, it's not out in the public, but people do know about it. And so fans are calling it out. I don't know if it's that. I mean, he did push her in TNA, but also why wasn't she like the longest reigning knockouts champion? You know, like he pushed Trinity and Jordan Grace and other people in that time. And Jazelle was sort of like a gatekeeper, was almost someone you beat and then you got to that next level. So I think he booked her well. And now this is the time, like you have your own Fed, you crown her the champ. Right? Like, I don't see the problem with it. Maybe there's a bit of that, but at the same time, look at how Tony Khan's friends are presented in this fucking company. Are we really going to start in AEW? You know, are we going to start pointing fingers? Like, look at how Triple H was booked, married to the boss's daughter. And I'm not saying it's because of that in any of those circumstances either. Like, Kenny Omega's friends with Tony Khan. He deserves to be pushed as like a top talent, I would say. If I had a federation, he'd be in there. He'd be a Triple H guy who's, if I have two other guys above him, he's like right there, or he's one of the top guys, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people scoff at that. Oh, come on now, Phil. But for real, man, and we're going to talk about it later, what Kenny was saying about AEW. Or I mean WWE rather. It's like, man, go prove everybody wrong then. Show up there and shut everybody up. I think you could do Kenny versus Roman at Mania and everyone would be like, holy shit. I think you could do that. Some people disagree. I don't know. I think I'm right about that. If you could do Cody Rhodes Seth and have everyone melt down, I think you could do Kenny Roman out of nowhere at a Mania and have everyone melt down. I think that would happen. Anyways, rather than stay silent, Shaw decided to address the backlash head on, taking to Twitter to with the former TNA wrestling star didn't hold back. Haters will always attack and drag my personal life online, but they all have one thing in common. They could never hate or deny my hard work, consistency, talent, my drive and passion on everything I set my mind on. Stay mad. It's my fuel. First, only, and longest reigning MLP Women's Canadian Champion. And yeah, so this isn't the first time. While her in-ring is undeniable, her relationship with D'Amore has often been a topic. But that's the thing. In TNA, man, she had the Knockouts title, but then she dropped it and was sort of a gatekeeper. So I just think that's like how you book someone at her level. I had always put her work over as well. I haven't been watching all of Maple Leaf Pro. You know, I didn't see their last big event, which was the big one. Like, I retweeted it and shit, but I should be watching it, goddammit. I support the fuck out of it. And Alexander's there as well. He's their champion, their first world champion or Canadian champion. He's in the ring right now with Hangman. So the Crockett Cup is going down, and Kenzie Page. Here's what Corgan has to say. As the person who booked this very special matchup between Corgan, who, have you guys seen? He might be Bill Burr's brother. William Patrick Corgan, as he is known in the wrestling world. So he says, as the person who booked this very special matchup between WWE's Natalya and NWA World Champion Kenzie Page in a championship match, no less, and given the bad blood between the two stars, which is only built since the Bloodsport event in Vegas, and of course, Miss Page's unseemly attack at the dungeon, I've come to a very important conclusion, which is that the officiating of this match must be handled in a very particular way. And though I have full confidence in our referees, I am concerned about their safety as well as ensuring that we in the National Wrestling Alliance will have a clear and just result. Therefore, I've named Gail Kim as the special guest referee. Didn't I call this? Jesus Christ, man. I was like, Gail Kim as a referee. I swear, if I didn't say that, I did say get her involved. I might have even said get her as a fucking referee. Have her referee this match or whatever. That's fucking awesome, right? Corgan listens to PWT confirmed. As the special guest referee for this contest, no, I don't remember if I said be a guest ref, but I was like, get her involved in this. If she's not going to wrestle Natty, you have Gail involved in this in some way, right? Which could lead to a match with Natty. This all could lead to the match. Ultimately, if you're Corgan and you have Gail Kim right now and you have Natty, you know you can get Natty for more than one appearance. You need to have Gail Kim versus Natty Neidhart. You need to make that match. I'm not overly familiar with Kenzie Page. I got to be honest. I fell off NWA during the whole, like, they brought Marty Scurll in, then the speaking out happened and the pandemic, and then they got fucked up from both of those things. And then Power fell off, and then I just completely have fallen off as well with NWA. So I haven't been keeping up. Kenzie Page is definitely, I'm familiar with the name. She's been making a name for herself by running into the dungeon and attacking Natty Nightheart. We've been chronicling it here on the show. But Natty had this to say. She crossed it out saying, I'm Natty Neidhart. I'm not Natalya. And she's like, I'm coming to NWA to beat the shit out of Kenzie and anyone else who gets in my way, Billy. You can put who you like in there with us. Result is going to be the same. Your girl is going to get mauled under your banner. Natty. I think Gail Kim gets involved. I think Natty fucking maul, like she says, I'm going to whoop Gail as well. Like, I don't give a shit who's in there. And then we get Gail Kim, Natty, maybe for not the belt. And if you're NWA, you put Kenzie Page over Natty. Do the right thing. Do the right goddamn thing. Or is the right thing to have Natalya Neidhart have a run with your NWA title and wear it on Raw one night or whatever and have her picture on that belt? Maybe that's the move. Maybe that is the move. Chat, you let me know what you all think. You go with Natty or you go with Kenzie Page? You all tell me. But this is intriguing. It's so awesome that I'm this intrigued in an NWA match. Now, I won't lie. If it was just Natty versus Kenzie, but adding that Gail Kim in there, I'm like, oh, shit. We might get Natty versus Gail Kim in NWA. in 2025. What the fuck? And maybe it's for the title. Maybe it's for the title. Holy shit. And then Gail could get it off Natty, and then Paige could get it off Gail. You guys get, because Gail, I think, is sticking around with NWA. She may be like signed with them for a bit, you know? So that would be awesome. And the 2300 Arena, dude, in Philly. So that venue popping off, if only, right? Paul Heyman's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm making money hand over fist right now. Priscilla Kelly, FKA Gigi Dolan, has been announced for 2 upcoming GCW dates as well. One on Coney Island and one in Dallas. So make sure you guys check that out, I guess. GCW's heating up. People are sharing clips of the new Hayabusa, and people are like, how the fuck is the new Hayabusa's 450 splash identical to the original Hayabusa's 450? And I'm so down. Like, it's kind of cheesy, but this is why. Now, I'm not saying they should pass the Undertaker gimmick on to anybody. Some of these gimmicks, like Hayabusa, I mean, it's kind of cool. It would be awesome if his family was getting something from that, but then do you take money away from the guy who's doing the gimmick? But then he's automatically getting money taken away because he's doing that gimmick, no? I just think that it's cool that we're seeing like La Parka, a new version that people will get hyped about, or this new Hayabusa. Where does he wrestle? Is this in Noah? Where is this new Hayabusa wrestling? Chat, tell me. I don't know where he wrestles, but I want to see more of it. So here's Natty again. Here's a little vignette, a little promo she dropped like not long ago.
Kenzie, I am not this. I made this. I built this. I did this to survive. But underneath, there's a part of me that craves violence. The side that loves to leave behind the predictability.
She's fucking Oksana's gimmick now.
And the security.
You guys remember Oksana?
Of my life. You see, I was born fighting, Kenzie. Somewhere along the way, I was domesticated.
I was born in the darkness, Bat. You've merely adopted the darkness, Bat.
And that's why my life doesn't fit right now. Some people get fast cars, or drugs, or a piece on the side, just to feel alive. But me, I just need the taste of blood in my mouth. Feeling of bruises underneath my clothes. And the rush of kill or be killed.
And WWE can't do this with her. Why? You're just a heart, pal. Okay, I mean, realistically here, it's a shame you didn't have any kids we could put you in a tag team with, pal.
I don't need to get something else to feel alive, Kenzie. I need to be someone else. Someone who is going to come to your house and beat your ass. And smile while doing it.
So here's Jeff Hardy out here living his best life at a concert.
I hope she
eating like, what is he eating, tots, or he's got wings there?
got to go.
Dad, this is Pearl Jam. Amazing. That's him and his daughter having some daddy-daughter time. That's epic. Jack Price has revealed that his contract with TNA has come to an end. He's been with TNA since 2022. And Joe Hendry confirms his TNA contract expires in 2025. All I'm saying, Joe Hendry, 2026, he'll be in WWE. Mark those fucking words right there.